Hello. What's up, Joe? I just talked to Demetria. She said she would be home at 7:30, so I told her I'd come on and do a quick image. So I guess she can catch up. But I'm gonna color an image tonight by Julie Nutting. She does stamps for Prima. I'm sorry. And this stamp is called Jessie. And that's what she looks like. You're there. Hi, everyone. Thanks for stopping in. All right. So the other day, my sister told me she wanted me to do a live. And I said, what do you want me to color? And she just said, whatever, just use purple. So we're going to color this young lady. It's Jessie by Julie Nutting. And most of my lives I've colored with Prismacolor markers because that's what I started out using, and that's what I don't know if comfortable is the right word. Maybe familiar, that's what I'm familiar with. So today I'm going to use Copic markers. So here we go. We're going to start with her skin. And I'm using E04. And I'm just going to go around her face. So this will be the first. I guess there'll be different shades to her skin. So this will be the first shade of her skin. Underneath her hair, it would be more of a shadow. So probably not with this color, but the next colors it'll be darker underneath her hairline or her bangs. Okay, so that was E04. Now I'm going to go in with, I'm going to do 3 different, well, I guess 4, including that one, 4 different layers of color on her skin. So the next one is going to be E35. And when you're blending, you're basically going to go over what you did and then a little bit more, just so you're blending out the first color and then a little bit further. So the first one you're covering up basically, and then bringing it out, extending it a little bit more. Thank you so much, My Card Art. I was just saying the other day, someone asked me, is there anything in crafting that I find challenging? And I feel like for me, it's like watercolor and painting. But I just have to do it more, I guess. So I purchased this stamp a long time ago, and I've never done anything with it until tonight. All right, so this is E21. It's going to be the final color of her skin, so you're just going to go over everything. And it's going to help to blend everything and smooth it all out. Okay. So at this point, I feel like it's too light in her face. So I'm going to go back in with the E35, which is the darkest brown. And I'm just going to add in some more color. So I want the lightest color to be more like highlight. Thank you, Dana. All right, so this one is E33. And then I'll go back in with E21. And blend it out. Let me go back in with E33. Okay. Do a little bit more on this side. I'm going to go back in and just cover up that lightest color. I didn't enjoy that. That highlight I did not enjoy. Okay, maybe it was too light to blend with the others, but I'm happy with this one. So I will go back in with the first color that I started, the E04, and just go around the hairline and her face. Okay, so I will put E21 back because I won't be using that for her neck. All right, so with E04, we're gonna go on the side of her neck and then underneath her chin. And we'll do a little bit down here. All right, so now I'm only using 2 different shades of brown. So E35, E35. Go over what we did and then extend it a little bit. And then last with E33 and go over everything you've already done. Okay, and her skin is done. I wasn't sure if I was gonna make her wear leggings or not, but I figured if she's wearing a coat and boots, it's probably cold, so she is gonna have leggings. Let's see, we'll go to the hair now. That's one of my favorite things to color. Okay, so I chose E37 or E57, E37, and E34. All right, so I'm going to break her hair down into sections. So like every hump, I guess, will be a section. So I'll start at one side and I'm gonna flick towards the middle of that section. And you don't want it to be Too straight, you don't want the marker like where you end to be at the same spot, just because nobody's hair ends like, I don't know. I guess the more, you don't want to be too perfect with it because nobody's hair is perfect. So we're just gonna flick to the center. Okay, so that is good enough. Now I'm gonna go in with E37. And I'm gonna go over what I did and then extend it a little bit more. So it's basically toning down this first color that I put on, and then as I'm extending out, it's introducing a new color. So we're gonna do the other side and just flick towards the middle, but you're gonna make sure you keep that white space in the middle for the lighter color. That'll make it look like her hair is shining. Yes, I love coloring hair. All right, and so the last color I'm gonna add is E34, and you're just gonna go over all of it. Okay, so back to E37, E37. And just flick towards the middle section. There's tons of stuff I can't do. I just showcase the stuff I can do. Okay, so you're gonna flick. This is E57. You're gonna go over what you did and just extend it a little bit. And you always have to be aware of how much white is left, because you don't want to put too much color down and not leave enough for the last one. Thank you, Demetria. Okay, E34, and you'll just go over everything you've already done. And that just blends it out. Okay, so this one, the end of this curl would be a little bit behind her shoulder, so we're just going to do very little of the dark brown, just coming up from behind her shoulder and then back the other way. Thank you, sir. All right, and the final color to make it blend. Okay, so there's one side of her hair. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Start with the darkest, flick to the middle of the section, do the mid, and then finally the lightest. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you so much, everyone. You're always going to go over what you just did, extend it a little more, and then with the last color, you're just going to go over the entire section to blend it out. I know a lot of times I watch videos on YouTube and they speed it up, but this is real time, so you'll see how long it actually takes me to color her hair. Miss Riska, I don't think I told you that I got that stamping platform. I love it. And I use it all the time. So thank you again. Okay, back with the darkest. Let's see. So we'll flick coming up. And you just have like an imaginary line here that you'll start from and work your way up. So I remember coloring a lot in coloring books as a kid, but I never remember turning the book upside down. But I guess I wasn't doing the same techniques back then. And then be aware of, like, whenever there's any curves, you don't want to just go straight up. You want to follow the outside line. Sometimes when I'm doing hair, usually when I do black hair, because it's so dark, I want it to look super shiny. And so I'll actually leave a white spot, a white space in the middle, just to make it look more shiny. Okay. So I kind of went out of the line a little bit here. So I'm just going to take my white gel pen, which is my best friend, and just go over that little brown spot. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go back in with E57. Make sure you're following that curve that the artist put in there for you to use. So these markers are juicy because I don't really use Copic too much. I'm trying. They're fun. So this piece here, you want to make sure you are leaving the same amount of white space on this side and this side as well. So you're going to just come down a little bit further on the side, like you're not doing too much, but just enough to where you have the same amount of white space left to work with. Yes, I tell everyone this is therapeutic for me. So I just like to take my time and get the color where I want it. Trying to make sure I keep my hand out of the way of the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now I'm going to go in with E34 and go over that section. Back to the darkest, E57. Just follow that curve of the hairline. But this part will be a little bit tricky because it's larger on this side than it is here. So you still want to do the 3 shades, but you're just not going to add as much, of course, on this side because you don't want it to just be a solid color there. So I'll do just a little bit. And then as you get closer to the outside, you'll do longer flicks. It's crazy how some places in the US people are still wearing stuff like this. Here in Arizona, I have my door cracked right now. It feels nice outside. Okay. I'm sure y'all are ready for me to be done with this hair. Okay, so we will do this last piece like it's one section. So I can hurry and finish. And then we'll just flick towards the middle. of the section. And pretend her arm's not there, but definitely be aware of it because you don't want to get ink where you don't want it. Okay, so most of that upper part is going to be just that second brown. But you still want to leave just a little bit for the last color. Thank you so much. There's all kinds of different fun techniques for hair. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with E37, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of flicks through the E34. So you're still gonna follow the outline of the hair, but you're just gonna add just a few streaks, barely touching the paper. Just to give it a little bit more, I don't know if movement is the right word. Just to also break up some of that light brown. Texture. Texture's good. Okay. You thought we were done with hair, but guess what? We still have to do her bangs. So she does have a hat that she's gonna wear, but even though it's gonna be covered up, I feel like I might want it to tilt a certain way. So I'm gonna go ahead and color all of it anyways, just so I wouldn't have to go back and try to fill in something. But this will be real quick. So we're gonna go in, flick from dark to light. Just following the lines that the artist put in there for you. And then go over what you just did, extend it a little bit, still flicking. You don't want to make it too perfect. Okay, then again with E37, just to add some of those, some texture back in there. And like I said, some of it is going to be covered up anyways, but in the case I finished and I didn't want to do the hat, then it would already be colored anyway. Okay, so she is done as far as hair and skin. So her jacket is going to be purple. So my darkest purple is going to be V17. So you just follow the outline. And then usually wherever there would be a shadow, you can make that area darker. Or you would color that area in, what am I trying to say? So you wouldn't just do like a thin line, I guess, if you want it to be a shadow. And then usually wherever there's lines added in there already for you, you're going to go ahead and make that darker. Sometimes when I am doing the bottom, I'll go all the way across. Other times I'll stop halfway. Basically do whatever you want. Do something different and it'll give you a different look. And then usually if there's a center line, I usually color on one side or the other, not both. And this one we will extend all the way out just 'cause. No rhyme or reason. And then we'll stop about there. Okay. I'm gonna go under her pockets. And go up just a little bit on this side. All right, so my next color will be V15. And I'll go over what I did already. And then extend it a little bit. So actually I think I'm gonna extend it all the way out. She's just gonna have 2 shades of purple in her jacket. Or coat. I don't know what you call it. Maybe it depends on where you were born. Thank you. I'm glad you find it satisfying. So do I. Okay, we'll go to the other side. And I think I'm gonna go back in and add a little bit of texture to her jacket with the darker purple, with a fun little technique. Hi, Candace. Okay. So I probably should have went all the way up there. But that's the thing about coloring. You could always go back and change something if you like. So I'm gonna do, and I don't even know what, like if it has a technical name or not, but whenever I have like a light and a dark, I want to bring more of the dark into the light. So I just like to start in the dark, of course, and just do like random dots. You're not gonna go too far into the lighter, but I feel like it just adds a little bit of something extra. And the random, the better. The more random, the better, I guess. But I feel like it just adds a little something. I'm glad you like her hair. That's one of the best parts of coloring for me. Let's see. You basically just go wherever you already had the darker purple. Start in there and then just extend it out just a little bit. Okay. And even though there wasn't any purple down there, like I said, you can do whatever you want. If you feel like something needs a little more, go for it. Throw it back in there, or throw it in there. Let's see what color I want her. I'm not sure what color I'm gonna do the rest of her jacket for now, so I'm gonna go and do her hat, which will match her coat. So I'll go in with V17. Thank you, Demetria. You just love it because it's purple. I could do a terrible job and you would love it because it's purple. This stamp is by Julie Nutting. She does stuff for Prima. Her name is Jessie. I purchased this a long time ago and this is my first time playing with it. So you've seen it here first, folks. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay. Okay, so I think that's good. I'll know after I do the lighter purple if I want to add purple on top or not. We'll see. All right, so I'm gonna go in with V15, going over what I already did, and then of course filling in the rest of the white space. Earlier this week, I was watching YouTube and I saw a demonstration on doing alcohol ink blending for backgrounds. So I went to the store today to purchase some, so I'll be playing around with that. Fun techniques. Yes, I have a lot of these. Well, not a lot. I have a few of these stamps. And I always alter everything as well. I was going to alter her, but I thought it might take too long tonight. So maybe with a smaller image. Okay. All right, let's go down to her skirt, which I'm just gonna do black. But when I want black, I never use black because I feel like black is so dark. Like, what else can you do with it? So I always like to use shades of gray. So we're gonna do which one first? Well, this one is a slate. It's BV29. So we'll just go underneath her coat. Okay, I think that's going to be it for BV29. And then I'm going to go in with C10. And I'm going to take off both ends because this marker has been known to like spit out a blob of color. Like I was halfway done with an image and used black and it did like a black spot. I was unhappy, but I heard if you take the cap off the other end, then it, I don't know, does something to prevent that. So just in case. Okay. All right, so she's going to be all purpled out. The only markers I chose today are the purple, the brown, and then those two grays that I just used. I need to figure out her jacket. So I think we're going to do V15 and V12. So V15 is the lighter shade on her jacket. So I'm going to do the outline in that lighter shade, and then I'm going to use an even lighter shade to go in there. Is this Beyonce? I wish. I do have a Beyonce stamp, but she's only like 2 inches, probably not even 2 inches tall, maybe 2 inches tall. Okay. I did think about Beyonce after I finished her hair. Not gonna lie. I always think about Beyonce. All right, we'll do the same thing for her pockets as well. And then do a little bit thicker underneath the bow. And hopefully it looks okay. I'm not even sure, like, I've never colored this before. I'm not a pro with Copic markers, so we're going with the flow. All right, now we're gonna go in with V12, which is lighter. Going over what we already did. And it looks pretty similar to the V15, I believe it is. Maybe once it dries, it'll be lighter. Okay, and I don't think I'm gonna add any texture to the pockets and her collar, just so it kind of looks like it's two different materials. Okay. Maybe for her bow, we'll just do V17, which is the darkest purple, and then just leave a little bit of a highlight. So we'll go around the top of each bow. And I think I'm actually going to do like the same technique I did for her hair, with just the two colors though. So we're going to flick to the middle and back the other side. It's funny, sometimes I can flick towards myself. Other times I like to flick away. It just depends. Maybe on how big the area is. But it's always fun to add texture to a flat surface. Okay, so that was V17. So then we'll do a shade lighter, which is V15. And just go over everything to blend it out. Literally just threw my marker. Okay. All right. I'm gonna jump down to her boots just because I don't know what color I want her leggings to be. So we're gonna go in, we're just gonna do two dark browns. So the first one is E49. And we'll start on the left side. And then we'll do the same thing on the other one. That space is really, really tiny in there, so just the little dot will be fine. Oops, sorry, I was out of frame. And then since this leg will have a shadow, we'll go ahead and add some darker brown there. Okay. Thank you so much. Now we're just going in with E47 and color the rest of it in. So I'm not sure how many of you, well, it doesn't even matter. So earlier this month, I was, last year, I was asked to be a guest designer for a stamp company, Stamp Anything, that I love. And that was a huge honor. And so I did that. And yesterday I did an interview with them. It should be on YouTube soon, but after the interview, they asked me if I wanted to guest design a few more months. So I get three more months this year to guest design for them. So that's a big deal. And then another company reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to guest design for them next month. I said yes, of course, because I think it means a lot, or it does mean a lot when somebody sees your work for what it is and wants you to represent their company. Thank you so much. It's an honor. Like, I love coloring. So whether I'm on a design team or not, like, I'm still going to do it, but to be able to be a part of something like bigger than what I'm doing is so much fun. So I'm super excited about that. Okay. You have my autograph already on the back of those cards. All right, so I wonder if I did a little cheat sheet. And I always, if I didn't have this, like, I would just be scribbling on the side of the image just because I want to see what color I'm about to use. Even though, like, sometimes the cap is a little bit different to me, like E15. I guess that's pretty similar. Thank you, Demetria. I appreciate it. Trying to figure out her leggings. I don't know if I want to use the colors that I've already used or introduce different ones. Oh my gosh. We're just gonna go with okay. We'll do V17. What's up, cousin? Which is the darkest purple. So most of her leggings will be purple, and then I'll do just a tiny bit in a lighter purple. And I might not even like it and then end up changing it, but that's okay. And then V15. And I think that's fine. Maybe. We'll see. I think I want just a little bit of the lighter. So I'm going to go back in, make sure I'm in frame. I knew you would love this purple, Dion. I feel like an adult, it's become one of my favorite colors too, especially when I'm creating cards. I'm always using purple. Okay, so when you have a lighter and a darker, if you go over the darker with a lighter, it lightens it up a little bit. So I'm just gonna go over the lighter part and leave the darker where it is. I don't even know if I love that, but whatever. We're moving on. Okay, so for her hat, what color do you guys think her band should be? Dark purple, light purple? The dark, like her skirt. We could do brown, like her boots. The first person to comment, I'll do it. Because I have no idea. Don't be shy, folks. Think about it. I'm going to color her headband real quick, even though it probably won't be seen. Just throw a little bit of color in there. And we'll do V15, 1-5. Light purple it is. Dark purple. So I got Dion's light purple first. So we're going to do light. Love you, Vanessa. All right, so let's see. So I feel like this is the lighter. So I'll do this all the way across, and then I'll come in with the lighter dark purple. Wait a minute, dark like the skirt. Uh-oh. Yep, you're right. So, since we have that already down, we'll just go ahead and finish that and then go over it with dark. Wait, dark like the skirt? Hold on. Dark like the skirt, so not even dark purple. So, we're gonna go in with, let's see, we'll do BV29 because I feel like that one is lighter than the other one I used. This, I don't know why, coloring this brim, or not brim, but this band on her hat made me think of Carmen Sandiego. But I think Carmen Sandiego wore maroon. Okay. So, I don't think I'm going to add any highlights to her. But some people like, I don't know, I love cutting, so I'm going to cut her out real quick. It won't take long, and then you could just see how her hat is going to line up with her. So when you're cutting, you're trying to leave the same amount of white space around the image. If there was a die for this image, you can just use a die and it would cut it out perfectly. So without one, you just want to be as careful as possible and move your paper as opposed to moving the scissors. Of course, you're going to move them up and down, but like as you're turning corners and stuff, you want to make sure that you just move the paper. And if paper ever gets in your way, just cut it off and then pick up where you started or where you left off. And I'm looking underneath my camera trying to stay in frame and get this right. It's hard. Okay, there's her hat. Now I think I'm gonna stand up and do this. This is so hard. Okay. And we'll go ahead and just get rid of that piece there. This is so weird. I'm not used to working underneath my camera. But this part I find very therapeutic as well. Just cutting out something and trying to make that line or the outline stay the same. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but You can tell if somebody took their time or if they rushed. They actually have a machine called a scan and cut, which you're able to scan your image and it'll cut it out for you. I'm sure it can do more than that, but if I got one, that's what I would use it for. But like I said, I have a lot of dies, so with the scan and cut, like, you wouldn't even need dies anymore. And just move the paper as you go around the curves. So what do you guys think about watching me cut? Like, do you want it to be sped up because I'm going too slow? Do you find it therapeutic? Should I have stopped at the coloring? I'll have to go back and read the comments. I don't want that stuff, so I'll just get rid of that. Okay. Almost done. Some people would not have the patience for this. But if you invested all this time in coloring it, you should at least make sure you have a nice image that's cut out. Okay, now her heel portion. And it's up to you if you want to get into those little spaces or not. Sometimes I get an X-Acto knife if I want to get really detailed. Other times I just leave it how it is. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what you folks said. Yes, I love these scissors. I got these at Target. They're EK Tools. So I have these, and then one of my friends, she uses these sewing scissors by Singer. And so I ordered them on Amazon. I like them too. They're a little bit smaller. But I feel like, I don't know, they're both different. So I'm working with both of them. But so the other day when they were interviewing me, they asked me about fussy cutting, and I told them I call it precision cutting because I don't find it fussy. I find it therapeutic. So it's fun for me. So I call it detailed precision cutting. Let's see. You could do a straight line, Andrew. Dion's turning her phone with me. Loves it. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love Tim Holtz. Anything Tim Holtz I love. I purchased some alcohol ink today because I saw him do a video about alcohol ink blending. Okay. So there's her little hat. I'll go ahead and glue her. I love this glue, art glitter glue. And it's funny because I used to use Tombow mono liquid glue or whatever. And I like it a lot because you get wiggle room. So like if I put this hat down, you don't put it down too, like smash it down, then you're able to like move it and see like how you want it positioned. And so I got this art glitter glue literally just because I like the name of it, but I love it. To see how you can still move it around and it dries clear, of course. And I love, like it came with this black tip, but then you're able to like screw this one on. So you're able to get like a super, super fine line of glue. Like you can get smaller than that. It's great. I love it. All right. Thank you all for hanging out with me while I color, doing something that I love. I appreciate your support. And I guess I'll throw it out there. Like if you ever want me to color something, let me know and I will do it. So I'm going to say good night. Thanks again so much for watching. And I'm sure I'll see you around. Bye.